My life has really changed in the past 4 years, and the past 4 years have felt like the longest time, and yet like they've gone by in like a flash. So here's what's been going on, and I guess some updates in the past 4 years. So I got married in February of 2022, and I had been single for a long time. And I can remember thinking like, oh, like it's never going to change. My life is always going to be this way. And it was such a big change to go from being single to being married, but again, it felt like nothing. So I moved from New Jersey. I was living with my mom. We were roomies, and I moved into Manhattan with my husband. And that change, I mean, going from the suburbs to the city was pretty significant. And the car, I mean, I kept my car, and that was pretty it was a gradual change, but that was, looking back, that's probably the biggest change is location. So I also had a baby in that same year. So it was a lot of change in 1 year. And my day-to-day life now is just, I mean, it's so different. I mean, having a kid changes your day-to-day life a lot. But this is what my day-to-day life is now based on what it was. And I was just like, I would commute to work. It used to be just, I would commute to work and I would come home. I would have like after school activities. I was a part of like groups, like church groups, and I played in an orchestra. And that's actually something I would like to get back into, and I'm excited to get back into kind of as my child gets older. That's like a hobby and interest that I love. I'm like music at my core. So I started playing violin when I was 5, 6, and I've always been involved in music in some way. And I think at some point I am looking forward to getting back to that. I have my viola in the closet over there. So that's something I'm excited to do more of in the future. And it's coming. I can tell it's coming. But my day-to-day life now, so it was just myself. I was living for myself. And my day-to-day life now is pretty cyclical. So we'll get up around 6:37, and my child's an early riser. She's up by 7, like without fail. No matter what time she goes to bed in the evening, she'll just get up and be cranky. So she wakes up, and she's all about dad. Her world is all about dad, which it's a great life being a dad to a daughter, let me tell you. She loves him, and she will like tell me to go back to bed. She'll be like, "No, mama, you need to rest. You need to go." And that's her favorite thing now, is to say, "No, mom, you can't do everything. Daddy needs to do it." So she'll want him to get her food or to make her breakfast, which is usually just frozen blueberries and toast with butter. Or eggs. Sometimes she'll eat eggs and request eggs. So he'll deal with breakfast in the morning. And so this is something that I started doing in March or in September when she started school, was putting out her clothes in baskets, and I'll set them out for the week. This has been huge. So we started doing this in September, and I'm still doing it in March, and it's fantastic. So I highly recommend, if you have a child that's school age, or if you're just for yourself, putting out your clothes for the week is fantastic, because that way, I mean, candidly, we don't have a ton of clothes, so I want to make sure that we're good for the week. And also so she's not wearing the same thing twice. So it's nice to have everything all laid out. Like she has like 5 sweaters and 5 pairs of pants. So these are super helpful. So he will just grab her clothing basket and her hair basket, and he'll get her ready, and we'll kind of switch off. Then we will take her to school. He'll either drive, well, I'll drive together, or I will walk her, because now my husband is going into the office 4 days a week, which is a change recently. So her school is 13 blocks away, 12 blocks away, and 12 blocks and 2 streets over. So it takes about 15, 20 minutes to walk, and I get my steps in, and I'm happy to get my steps in. But being like, this is just a city thing. You walk everywhere. So we'll put her in the stroller and we'll walk to school. We'll drop her off, the school drop up offline. And let me tell you, I see like Instagram posts talking about like, ooh, the cool moms. This is what the cool moms are wearing for pickup. Let me tell you, the cool moms are not doing the pickup. It is like 90% caregivers, nannies, babysitters, people hired to pick up children. At drop off, maybe a parent will do it on their way to work, but at drop off and pick up especially, it's all caregivers. So it's not a fashion show for anyone. It's all caregivers. So I'll drop her off, then I'll come back. I'll work my full-time job. And then I will go pick her up, take a break, go pick her up, bring her back. And this is where it can get a little dicey, because she's 3 and she has the wants and desires of a 3-year-old. She wants to stop for candy. And the temptations on a New York street are plenty. There's the Cinnabon car, there's the deli car, there's like 8 different bakeries that we love and adore. And she'll want to stop at like each and every one of them. And we tell her that treats are for the weekend. And we can all look forward to going and getting that one special treat on a Saturday, and treats are for the weekend. We eat health. And I'm trying again with like not to label foods healthy or unhealthy. We just think about, does this make my body feel good? Does this have protein? Does this have fiber? Does this have vitamins? So that's like something I'm really trying to emphasize. So the temptation walking back from school is real. So I'll get home and I'll continue working my job, or we'll go to an event or an activity. Right now she just has one activity. We just added a second activity. She takes a ballet class and she loves it. And we just started a music class as well, and she loves that as well. We are very intentional about choosing where we invest time and money for her, but she loves both of those classes. So they're both really good investments. So we do that. And I am working my full-time job while she's in her class. I'll like sit outside and work. So we work, she comes home, and I've usually planned and prepped dinner ahead of time. Like today, it's next on my list is to go set up the slow cooker for chicken. I bought chicken breast on sale for, I think it was like $1, no, it was 98 cents, which is unheard of. So I bought a whole bunch and I froze them. Now I'm defrosting and making slow cooker chicken for us. 4 o'clock is my dinner time. I have a plan in place by 4 o'clock, and I try to start cooking then. During the week, I'll make dinner. And then my husband will come home around 6 to 7 and start bath at 7:30, and she's usually asleep by 9, 9:30, 10. And then from 10 to 12 is time to catch up on any work tasks that I might be doing, or just life kind of tasks in general. It's a time for my husband and I to be together, or us time to connect. We like talking about movies and TV shows. We haven't really watched anything lately. We watched A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That was the last show that we watched together. We're looking forward to watching potentially Hijacked. I'm watching The Pit and really like that. So that's what my day-to-day life looks like. And I feel like it's going really well so far. As far as financial goals, so I'll talk about family. Someone had asked if we're still looking to expand our family, and the answer to that is it's in God's hands. And it always has been. I just feel it more specifically and particularly in this area because we make our plans and God laughs. And I'm like, okay, just hold everything loosely. So that's where we are as far as that goes. And as far as our financial goals and our routine for finances as a married couple, and this is something that we've really had to work together on, because something I've learned, I've always known this about myself, is that I'm like, do it right now, do it immediately, for myself and for other people. So what I've learned is to just kind of take it easy, because my husband is kind of the opposite when it comes to things. He's like a very take it easy, take it as it comes kind of guy. Like he'll plan and he'll organize, but he is a very kind of measured, calm, relaxed kind of guy. So I've definitely learned to let go of things I can't control, which is everything that's not me, my thoughts or actions. And that's been a great learning lesson for me. So as far as managing money together, I really love Ramit Sethi's Money for Couples. I have the book, I've done the exercises, and we have a money date on Saturday mornings. And that is our time when we connect on any issues. So this is our format for the money meeting that Ramit lays out. It is, we open with appreciations and saying, these are things that I appreciate you. Like for my husband, I appreciate that he goes to work every day. He doesn't have to. I don't have to. We choose to go to work. I appreciate that he is so thoughtful and kind, and like he'll bring home my favorite dessert every now and then, which is a whole separate issue with the sugar, but he's just very thoughtful, and I really appreciate that. So we open with appreciations. Then we talk about any positive things that happen, like, oh, I canceled this subscription that I had been paying an extra $300 for a month and never noticed it. And like so money wins, like things that we've won with, even if they're small things, starting with something positive. Then we move on to any outstanding issues, any updates, things that are like upcoming expenses. For example, we're looking at camps and camp costs, which in this area are on the low end, $700 up to $1,000 a week. So that's what we're dealing with, what we're looking at and planning ahead for coming up, upcoming expenses, and then kind of a numbers check, which this has kind of been the biggest challenge with two people that had full adult lives, is merging those together and knowing what numbers we want to focus on and how we want to focus on them. And again, I come back to, what can I control? I can control myself. So I look at things like I've mentioned in other videos, my 5 numbers that I focus on, my fixed expenses, my variable expenses, my savings rate, my investments, and trying to increase. Those are the 4 numbers that I look at, my savings and investments in particular. We'll kind of share any updates, which right now the market is down, which I just keep telling myself everything's on sale. So buy more. So buy more. much. It's like, it's depressing when you see your portfolio go down. You're like, oh man, but just ride it out is what I keep trying to tell myself. Like, this is a perfect example, like ride it out. That's the numbers portion. And then we aim to end with why I love you. Like, these are the reasons why I love you. You always know you have a way with words, and you say funny things. Like, I try to write down funny things he'll say throughout the week. Be like, oh yeah, when you said that, it was funny. And that made me feel good that I just kind of chuckled along with you. So that's the format for managing our money as a couple. And that has grown and changed. And I'm realizing, like, oh, being married 4 years is nothing. Like, that's a drop in the bucket. Like, you look at people that have been married 20, 30, 40 years, those are people that really have something to say about something. That is our routine. That's my daily routine. That's kind of what's going on at the moment and what it looks like for me. As far as my hopes and dreams, and this is something that we talk about too, I try to have our things that we're aligned on and our goals together, because we do aim to be work optional soon. Who knows when that will be, because the number varies depending on our contributions, obviously. That's the goal. And we want to have wonderful times together while also enjoying the present while preparing for the future. And our goal is to gift our daughter an amount of money for her future that would be a help, because neither one of us came from money. And it would just be, it's a goal of mine to give her money to help her get started in her adult life. I think that would be sort of one of the biggest things I'm hoping to do for her. So that's kind of a look at my life, what it looks like right now. If you have any questions, let me know. I would love to know what your questions are, and I would potentially answer them in another catch up. So thank you as always for watching. I appreciate you so much. If you stuck with me this long, if you've stuck with me to the end of the video, I appreciate you. So thanks again. And I appreciate you watching. Keep watching. Bye.